Welcome back to another episode of Shit, I'm 30. I'm your host, Carla, and today my friends on the podcast are Anthony again.
Hey, y'all.
And we have Rasta Yogi, DJ.
What up?
Yeah, so starting off with shit you should know. I saw something, I'm sure you guys saw it online too. It was a police officer breastfed a malnourished baby in a hospital. And I just think that shit was bomb as fuck.
I did not hear about that.
So it's a police officer, I believe it was Argentina or something like that. But I'm like, us women, we're the shit. This is not something that a man can ever do. So they went to the hospital, the baby was crying, they couldn't get him to calm down, he was really sick. And she just popped out a titty and said, come here, baby.
That is, how is that? What?
Yes.
Like you gonna feed somebody else, baby, your breast milk?
Yeah,
Like,
you know you can sell your breast milk.
oh.
Don't they get it tested first?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, they
You
should.
gotta test for, like,
can
diseases or
yeah.
Oh, I don't know, but I know you can buy it online.
Nothing.
And I've heard in the hospital at times, like when there's some mothers that can't do it, they like give them some of the breast milk. Like you can share
Well,
breast
I
milk.
understand that, but I'm saying like this is some random breast that just came out of nowhere.
Yeah, she just popped this musky titty in this baby's mouth. Like that's basically what she just did. A police officer, I know she was on the beat and it was hot outside, and she
was
popped this
trying-
musky titty.
This baby was like homeless, malnourished.
Girl, they only got formula.
I understand that. It's a great act.
It was amazing. I found it amazing.
I just want to know the logistics beforehand. I want to know
Yeah.
if they made sure she was good, she's not getting this baby sick, or
The baby it was gonna die.
Oh,
I
it's so many other ways.
understand that.
It reminded me of The Handmaid's Tale when that lady popped that titty in that baby's mouth. You remember that? That's exactly what my mom
Handmaid's
went to.
Tale.
That dry ass titty in that baby's mouth. That baby had no milk. Like, girl, what is this?
She was trying to breastfeed the baby knowing good and well she never been pregnant.
They can't even get pregnant.
She
trying to
can't
feed
even
that
have a
damn
uterus.
baby. Ooh, that was a trip.
That is so funny. I breastfed Ayana for a year, but she never latched. It was always like pumping. I couldn't get her on. But
My mom said she was scared. She said, y'all wasn't going to bite on my titty. I'm sorry. So my mom said she put a... Because I asked her, because we would learn about breastfeeding in school. I said, but did you breastfeed us? Hell no. Y'all wasn't going to bite on my titties a little bit I got left. She was serious.
put the formula on your ass.
She put a bottle right in our mouth. You know. So this is why we crazy now. If we wasn't
so
breastfeeding.
Our episode today is gonna surround mental health. I've been wanting to do this because last time we got cut off. You didn't mean to when I was trying to do my shit talk. So I wanted to do a whole episode on it because it's something that we don't talk about in our community. And on our shit you should know, yesterday it was released some of Aaron Hernandez's suicide notes. So if you guys don't know, he's a former New England Patriots player. He was charged with multiple murders and he was in prison awaiting trial for a second charge. He was released of the first one.
Yeah.
And he committed suicide while he was in jail, but he was battling what we now know was the most severe CTE case ever found in a person his age. And I can only imagine what he was going through, and we didn't even know.
CTE. What's that?
Do you know what it stands for?
Don't know what it stands for, but
It comes from concussions.
Okay.
I've been.
So it's
tested
like, it's
to an
brain, you get concussions, it ends up being a brain disease. What does it stand for? Let's look it up. Anywho, while we look that one up, he wrote some suicide letters, basically notes left behind, and the one to his daughter is the one that, like, I don't know, it's the weirdest. You can tell that he probably wasn't in his right mind. He probably wasn't in his right mind from a long time ago. Plus, in the documentary they made about him, they said that he was battling with homosexuality.
Did I know
So
that?
you didn't know that part? Yes. Yeah. So some friends and some people came forward saying that he was gay and that he was trying to hide it and that he had a lover in jail.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so he was trying to hide all of this, and some reporters got a hold of this information. They were going to put it out, and he actually killed himself right before that. So homosexuality at one point was said to be a mental illness. And in the trans community, or transsexuality, is that how it would be called?
Yeah.
It was still considered a mental illness, and so I think it was last month in Europe. They just took it off of like the mental health.
I heard
you
about
heard about that one?
Right.
They just took it off the list, and to me it's like, it's a lifestyle. It's who you are, and they were considering it just like schizophrenia or like bipolar or something like that.
Yeah.
So his letter to his daughter, that's the only one I took. He had one for his fiance and another one I don't remember who. I think his attorney. But it says, Avi, that's his daughter. Daddy will never leave you. I'm entering to the timeless realm in which I can enter into any form at any time, because everything that could happen or not happened, I see all at once. Life is eternal. Believe, love, repent, and see me yourself. in everything and everyone, because that's what the truth is. I'll see you all in the heavens, awaiting you all with the same love. Never fear me, but love me with all of you. Fear is the only separation between you and I. We are each other. I, you, me. There's no need for fear, but what you do unto another will come back around. That is, oh my God. Can you imagine a little girl reading that years from then? It's like, he really did it for her. Like, he killed himself so they would have the money.
I'm still trying to absorb it.
But what money? Like,
oh, he's yeah.
So he had like
loaded.
a $40 million contract.
Okay,
when
yeah.
he
Yeah,
went to
table.
jail, you asked what it was, the $40 million. So he had a $40 million contract. He went to jail for, it was 2 separate murder charges. The first one he was acquitted of. So he was still in jail for a second one. And there's some type of law in Massachusetts that if you die in jail while still awaiting trial, you're automatically not guilty. Is that what it was, DJ?
I'm not sure exactly about that.
So it
part.
was something like that. So when he kills himself, he automatically becomes not guilty. There's no charges. So he kept his contract.
Yeah.
So now his
If he would've
contract.
gotten convicted, the contract would have been null and void.
So, okay.
So now his fiance and his daughter get the money.
That was the first thought that they had when they found him dead. They thought he committed suicide in order to keep the contract to go to his family.
And in one of the letters that it was to his fiance, he said something like, "You're rich now," or something about the money, like you got it.
Oh.
So it hints towards that.
Yeah.
Very much so. So I'm sure he thought about it before he did it, but whatever he was thinking was fogged by what he was going through. Like the worst CTE case. Oh, DJ, you found what it was called. Come on, show us how smart you are.
I'm not for the
Come on, read this.
So, chronic traumatic, let's sound this out together, encephalopathy.
Oh, you did. You sound smart.
Yeah, it took me. Yeah, look, thank God you crossed this motherfucker.
You sound smart, friend. You sound
So
smart.
what I know is, I don't know. They can't really tell why you're. Like, only way they can actually diagnose CTE is when you're dead, because they have to actually,
open your brain and
open
look
the
at it
brain
and mess
up.
with it.
So right now with the whole lawsuit, which I'm also a part of since I played NFL, the only thing they can really do is like test memory and test cognitive skills and things like that. So that's the whole issue with the whole lawsuit that's going on with the NFL right now, is you can't really see if somebody
So
has
if you
CTE.
don't remember some hoe from a long time ago, you can be like, CTE.
Oh, come on! You know how much money on the table?
I've heard about this. I always thought it was concussion. I didn't know it was an actual
It's like a brain disease.
disease
Yeah.
that they
And
actually
you see
came
them-
up with.
From concussions.
Yeah.
There was that movie that, what's his name did?
Yeah.
Will Smith. It was called Concussion?
Yeah, I think
Yes, and you can see how bad,
Yeah.
like how it traumatizes them, how they react. Like they
Yeah.
have it's like they're crazy.
This is
already
why I've
been-
always said they are so underpaid. It's the most dangerous job.
Yeah.
They're getting hit like by
And baseball
semi-trucks
players
every single day.
that all they do is hang out there and put their hands on their knees,
Drink
get
some-
paid.
drink
so
some
much.
St. Aloes
This-
one.
I thought Aaron was a baseball player, so I did not know. It goes to show how much I know about football and sports. I really thought this man was a baseball player. Was he Latin or something?
You talking about Aaron Rodriguez?
That's what
I
I'm
think-
thinking of.
Okay.
Probably, but
Hernandez
Aaron-
Rodriguez. He don't put us
See,
on to
that's
one
why I did
category.
Latin. I thought baseball. That's what I got. I'm like, how do you
can see
got
why,
concussions
though.
playing baseball?
There's never I don't think are there a lot of big Hispanic
There are.
football players? I don't think so.
I don't think so either. No, I
Say it
think it's a
again?
lot of baseball
Is
players.
there a lot of Hispanic big football players, like Spanish ones?
They play soccer. They don't play
Can you
football.
think of one other than
Not
Aaron?
too many.
Yeah, I can't think of any big ones.
But that's because just like where they're from, depending on what country they're from,
Yeah.
the dominant sport is usually
Baseball.
especially Caribbean, Latin America is mostly baseball, and then soccer.
And soccer.
So
Yeah, they're all playing soccer for sure.
the only way you really play football is if you come here.
Yeah.
and you're here where football is.
See,
And by the
I
time
don't
they-
suck that bad. I actually just
You were close.
right.
So
So
that's one thing that I just saw in the news that it broke my heart to see the fact
Yeah.
that his daughter is going to see that forever, and it's even if her mom tried to keep it away from her, it's not gonna happen.
Right.
It's out in the news.
She probably would try to spin it a certain way. It's like your dad kind of died a hero or something like that because he was trying to protect us. Like that's how
He
I
was
probably
too much in the
spin it.
news, and then they had that 2-hour documentary on him. You guys should watch it. It's amazing. Because, Jose Baez was his attorney. Casey Anthony's attorney.
Yeah.
Nah.
So it was so much going on there. And in other news, Taraji P. Henson, she
Yes.
created a foundation
that's
in
right.
honor of her late dad, who battled mental health. I actually read her book. It was great, and you can see how her mom had gotten her away from her dad, and he would come in like banging on the door. It was all these things, and she created this in hopes of eradicating the stigma surrounding mental health in the African American communities. She just launched it's called the Boris Lawrence Henson Foundation. It's under her dad's name. The organization will provide scholarships to African American students majoring in mental health. So hopefully there'll be more Black therapists and doctors and all of this to be able to be there for the Black community.
I wanted to be a MFT, marriage and family therapist.
Really?
Yeah, I took Psych 101 my freshman in college.
Me too. I studied with psychology.
Yeah, and she was actually a marriage and family therapist, and the amount of depth we got into just not the study of the human brain and the history of it. We actually go into behaviors, and I was like, oh my God, this is so interesting to me. So took all the psych classes I could.
Me too.
And so I was like, damn it, in order for me to become this MFT, I'm gonna have to go to get my master's, and I don't even want to get my damn bachelor's. So I'm gonna have to scrap this because this is not gonna work out. This is gonna be a waste of time. I do not want to graduate with a bachelor's in psychology.
Because you can't do nothing.
You can't do shit with it.
That's why I stopped.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But I loved it. I really loved
did too.
psychology. I love behavior, like watching people and like saying what they got going on. See, the part that I don't like about it is looking at myself. When the mirrors turn back to you, I'm like, I'm doing the fuck shit that I'm telling people not to do.
Right.
So
the thing in sales, it's really like the study of human behavior and stuff. So I use a personality assessment called a DISC profile, where I'm able to break down your personality within the first like 30 seconds of having a conversation with you. And based off the type of personality you are now, I know how to react to you. And Carly, you are a high D. You are a dominant personality. This stands for DISC. D stands for the dominant, like aggressive people. Don't waste my time. Very on point. Quick go. I is the influential people. So basically, people are impressed by names. So if I tell you George Clooney, stay down the street, you're going to want to buy this house because you want to be a part of that. You're the life of the party.
Oh, okay.
The S is like the secretarial type, the one that's really good at supporting. D personalities, for example.
So I need S friends.
Any S, yeah, basically. And I work well with S friends too. And my best friends are S people. And then you have your C, your compliant people, your people that are like your accountants, just very about the numbers straight to the fact. So basically, so if I'm speaking to you and you're a high C, I know to talk numbers to you. Hey, your return on investment on this property will be 9%, blah, 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 this and that. And I'm speaking your language, therefore you're more likely to do business and actually do what I tell you to do. So sales is all, that's what makes me a good salesman. But sales is all psychology. It's all about it's 100% psychology in so many different ways. But
what was the I again?
I is influential.
What do you think you are, DJ?
Neither one. I didn't hear any of those that applied to me.
So we all have a little bit of all of, we have the DISC breaks you down. I still have to just have more conversations with you and stuff.
I haven't spoken much.
But just based off you do have a high I personality. I can just tell because how you were making jokes and everything like that. And then, you said something about the read and, those are my homies. That just lets me know right then and there, like, he's a high I. Because a high C wouldn't even think to say that in the first place. So I'm able to break you down now. Now I know how to react to you. So,
Look at you. I like that. I'm going to have to go and read some. I don't want to sell shit to nobody.
I want to read more now because I'm like...
Me too, but Tony I can't do sales. Oh, I love him.
So Tony Robbins
he's going to be here.
He is. I'm going.
Okay.
So he actually used that to like kind of help you to get to know yourself because you're also able to know, okay, this is how I learn.
It's a personality test. I think I've done it.
It's a personality test. It's just like the Myers-Briggs stuff. It's just broken down a little bit more simple.
That's pretty awesome.
Like that.
Well, now that we'll have more of you, but with their bachelors and masters, Taraji's going to pay for them to go and do it. That way they can do it outside of sales and actually help people from the community go to them and go to a therapist that looks like them. Mm-hmm. Because honestly, I went in Winter Park, so I wanted to go to a therapist right after my daddy died. And I went to this white lady in Winter Park. Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh, she was so sweet, but I just felt like you can't understand what I'm trying to tell you, ma'am.
Yeah.
And I went to a couple of them, then I switched. Then I went to like the only Black therapist I was able to find that was within 10 minutes of my job.
Right.
Was a Black man, an older Black man, and I swear to God, this man was flirting with me.
Of course.
And I said, "This is weird." Like, sir. I went twice and never went again, and I couldn't find anyone else that I felt like I could go to. And I don't want to go to no white lady.
Right. I was in one of my relationships where it was ending. We were responsible enough to actually seek therapy before we decided to split ways. So I just remember like looking for an LGBT therapist that understand the issues that we're going through, because it's not specifically the same problems that heterosexual people go through. So, and it was really hard for me to find someone too. And even if they were, if they said they are, it's kind of like, I include that too. It's just like me saying like, I sell houses all over Florida. It's like I specialize in Orlando, but I can sell all over. So that's basically what it was. And I sat down with this therapist, and it was just like he and I both. And to be honest with you, it was horrible, because we ended up leaving therapy even more mad than we went in. It's just like she just sat there. It was no therapeutic interjection or intervention whatsoever.
They probably didn't really, because she didn't understand. How can they really understand it?
Well, wouldn't there be a difference? So it was a LGBT woman?
No, she was straight.
Oh, okay.
She was straight.
He was trying to find one, but he couldn't find one.
But she said she was on this, this category where she deal with LGBT issues, and I think it was more so of trans people. That's where her specialized. Not.
And you're like, I'm trying to keep my mind. Okay, we both want it. We good. We men over here.
Right.
So I think we should definitely highlight this. And some people are like, I've seen the trolls online. They're like, oh, if you're going to start something, just start it quiet. Of course. And I think, just like I said on past episode with LeBron's school, people need to talk about it.
Right.
Why? Because then someone else is going to get the same idea and do it again. Taraji can't reach everyone.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Her money's not going to get everyone to go to school or everybody some help. But if more people see it and say, oh, maybe I can do that too, so somewhere else in the country, they'll get it too.
Right. It brings awareness, in the black and brown culture. Therapy is not really, it's looked at as a negative stigma. Like, this is something that we don't do. We keep everything in house. We talk about it. But I always say that black people especially, we are one of the most disturbed races when the things, races that think, according to the things we've been through in history in the past. So because of that, we definitely need to talk to someone. We definitely need it, instead of holding it back and just keeping it in.
Yeah, I can say I looked up and I'm like, let me get a list of mental health disorders. Holy shit.
Yeah.
That list was long.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many different spectrums to mental health and mental illness, and I'm like, wow. I know that I suffer from at least one pretty bad, and that's anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
I've had anxiety all my life, and I know it also stems into my anger and like me being anxious and saying I need to get this done, or like I feel like something's closing in and I'll fight, like I'm fighting my way through something because I just can't put things together. And I comes to find out that anxiety, it affects 40 million adults in the U.S., so 18 and older, and 18.1 of the population every year. It's highly treatable, but only 36.9% of people actually get treated for it. Now, I get medication for it, and I don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
I like to feel my feelings, and I feel like Xanax, I couldn't do. That, I felt high, and I don't like being high.
Right.
And then they gave me another one, I believe it's Ativan, 0.25, like a tiny, tiny little pill. And I'll take it if, I don't even know, when my dad passed away, the first week I didn't want to take anything because I felt like if I took it, I was going to numb myself. But then I did take it, and when you take it, it's like the world can be crashing, and you don't give a fuck.
Right.
You don't feel high. I didn't physically feel anything, but I'm just like, what the fuck ever. Like, y'all can kill each other, call me whatever you want. And I was thinking, when that thing you smoke, DJ, is that what it does to you?
oil?
Yeah.
It's not so much a, I'm trying to think of it. It's not like a mind high. It's more like a body, like it's like a relaxer. It's just relaxing.
So you feel it? Because I don't like to feel
slightly.
things.
It isn't like hit you like a medication would.
Is it like smoking a hookah or no?
No.
Okay. I think hookah's hot. I like head
Hookah
high.
goes to my head.
Yeah,
Hookah to me is like flavored air. Like I
Okay.
don't feel anything with hookah.
What? I take a hookah and I swear I'm high.
You just like sniffing a marker. It's like, I cannot do that. I'm like, what you
No,
know?
CBD oil is the medical side of
I did some
marijuana.
when I went to LA. I was in Venice Beach, and they put some drops in me because
Yeah.
my back was hurting, and I'm like, I don't want to get high, and like, no, you won't. I don't think it did anything to me. I think it was fake. I didn't feel anything.
It's hard for me to compare like the actual medicines that they will give for mental health disorders because I've never I don't like medicines. I don't even like taking aspirin when I have a headache. I'm like, just let that shit ride out.
Right.
So I couldn't even compare it.
That's some
to,
yogi shit right there.
What?
You
said that's some yogi
That's some
shit?
yogi shit.
Before I did
No
yoga,
medicine.
I hate taking medicine. Like I'd rather just sit there and let the pain hit, and rather than just try to numb it down, because medicine does nothing but just kill the symptoms for a little while, and it comes right back. Sometimes stronger.
And they bring something else.
Yeah,
There's always
I
another
hate
side
that
effect.
That's usually the first thing that people turn to. I mean, for some people that might be their only option, but I hate that that's one of the first things they turn to, or that's
Medicine.
prescribed to them. It's
They're highly
there's-
addictive. When I
there's
look at the
so
medicine
many
that
more.
I was prescribed, it's addictive.
Mm-hmm.
Like people die off of this.
Yeah.
Like they overdose over this pill. And I'm like, I'm not taking this shit. Like 30 pills will last me a good 9 months.
So I was in pharmaceutical sales before I got into real estate.
They make money.
And they do. I was in the operations shop. I was behind the scenes. I was not a sales rep. Now I discovered sales there, but no, I understand. Medicine is really addictive, and sometimes it's just made like some things can be like opioids, for example. Right now, it's like it's causing an epidemic. So yeah, if you use it as prescribed. I'm not saying that all medicine is bad, and I don't want to get that across because some medicines
are very necessary.
Yes, they're very necessary. But things like aspirin, you're right. It just basically block your pain receptors.
Yeah.
The pain is not gone. It's just that you just can't. Your brain is not processing.
Like
it.
some
You
of the
feel it.
other ones that I saw: depression, bipolar disorder, PTSD, which is post-traumatic stress disorder,
Right.
schizophrenia, ADHD, which I also have.
Right.
I got a couple things going on.
I'm starting to hear more about anxiety now. Like my friends are all starting to come out and say, "Hey, I actually suffer from anxiety." Celebrities are starting to say it.
Yeah, sometimes I feel like because it's becoming a norm, like when it started becoming more normalized and gay, like being gay, and it was cool. Now you see everybody playing gay. Oh, I'm gay too. Some girls. I think mostly girls.
He's like,
I'm like,
When they be like,
who
okay,
else playing gay? Like, who wants to play gay? That's not nothing to play.
And I say to him, like, you remember in high school when girls would act gay?
Yeah.
To get attention?
So I have a whole nother, and I'm not going to get into that. I have a whole different outlook on that. I think everybody. And I don't. That's what I'm saying. It's a whole.
Okay,
open
we'll
dialogue.
do a whole nother.
But yeah, I don't think it's just playing. I think it's experimentation. Girls are allowed to experiment in this day and age. Guys are not. We're held under different standards.
Especially men of color.
Especially men of color. This is why the DL brother in the black community is so rampant because of that. Black men are not able to express
I'm going
themselves.
to Atlanta. I'm trying to tell my
sexually.
friends, y'all need to be
so,
careful.
yeah, that's what says. It's a different time, different conversation. How I can get into that.
But going back to medication wise,
We're going back to medication.
some of these do need medication. Somebody who's schizophrenic needs a legit chemical imbalance within their brain. Like anxiety is too. I think anxiety can be treated a lot. Some of it, depending on the severity of it, with therapy. PTSD. When they come back from the war, we don't give them like the help that they need. These veterans, they come.
anything that they need.
What do they get when they get back?
A pat on the back. Thank you so much for serving this country.
Clap when they land.
Yeah, you have to make
That's
a certain
it.
amount, but you can get the house for free. We'll give you 100% financing, but you still got to pay for it. You just ain't got to put nothing down. That's what we'll give you. Your VA loan, and you can go to school for free too. That's what we
You
give
can go to school for free.
Yeah, you get.
But you come back all fucked up. Why
Yeah.
you can't even study and be paying attention to school
And TRICARE
and
for
pass?
life. Yeah.
Oh, I remember TRICARE when I worked in the health department.
So
Yeah.
that's what they give them, but it's not enough. It's not enough for what they go through.
So my question to us being all in like in minority communities in a family of color, did your parents speak to you about mental health growing up?
Not at all.
Never. They didn't touch on anxiety. They didn't touch on depression.
No. Not at all.
Everybody was just cool. Keep your feelings to yourself.
I'm thinking back now, and no, never can remember a time where any kind of mental disorder was brought up.
I can remember my family calling everybody crazy. If somebody was a little off, it's like that motherfucker crazy.
That's what we said.
They're a crackhead. They're crazy. They got issues.
Right.
But that's where it stayed.
I grew up in Opa-locka, so there's legit crackheads there, but
Yeah, nobody actually went to a therapist. That's not something
absolutely
that
not.
we did.
I didn't even know there were therapists.
Even on TV, you would hear like, oh no, we're not going to therapy. That's a white thing or something like that, like
Right.
TV, movies, and stuff like that. So yeah, it's nothing that I heard about in home and then watching TV.
Right.
When we heard therapy, it was white people in therapy.
Yeah.
I mean, I was putting anger management, but I didn't see that as therapy. It was like a group. Then it's like,
group.
stop hitting people. Like, you're angry. Something's wrong with you.
A help
it was,
coach or something
Yeah,
like
it's
that.
like to help me like deal with my anger. But no one ever sat me down and said, what is the root that I remember. I could be wrong, but I don't remember someone ever sitting me down growing up and saying, it could be because of this or something's affecting you. And I feel like our parents don't speak on that.
Right. My mom, it's so funny we say this. My mom came to me like in my early 20s, right after my dad died, and she was like, "Hey, Tony, I have to tell you something. Like, I have to tell you something." And it took her months, but she felt like she had to tell me what was going on, like what she went through in her past. So my mom went through a lot in her past that she held in. Sexual molestation, she was diagnosed with something, a chronic disease, illness that she kept from everybody. Like, she did not share.
We forget that our parents were people before they were mom and dad.
Yeah. So, and she decided not to go get treated and everything because she wanted to be aware for her kids and stuff. So she held that in for 20 something years. And then she came to me and just laid this all out. She was like, I need to tell you, the oldest, I need to let you know what I've been going through. And immediately, my mom, she went and she seeked out help, and she went to a therapist, and she was diagnosed with, she was bipolar, and she also suffered from depression. So little did I know, when I was growing up, my mom tried to commit suicide 3 times.
Oh, wow.
Like between elementary school and to high school. And we had no idea.
Wow.
Like, she legit tried to commit suicide. And her last attempt was a couple months ago. She tried to commit suicide.
Like, from now?
Yeah. My mom, she's like I told you, she's diagnosed with bipolar depression. So, they prescribe medicine, but like I said, the stigma with medicine, especially in the black community, is that we don't take it, and it makes us feel some type of way. So if my mom doesn't take her medicine, she has manic episodes, or she'll have really low
she's
episodes.
Manic depressive.
Yeah, so it's just like either she would go I think needs her weed. That's what it is. No, she really was going through stuff. Like, her brain was chemically not balanced. So yeah, we would have a lot of arguments and stuff. Like, I'm talking about crazy fights because my mom was in a manic episode, or we'll have really, really low moments because my mom was really, really low.
I feel like my dad definitely battled with something. And when talking to my grandma, like, stories of him, he definitely had ADHD as a child growing up. He couldn't sit still. He learned it in a different way. He was extremely smart. I mean, the empires he built and what he left behind, it's nothing short of a smart man. I don't even think he graduated high school. And he did everything on his own. But no one knew how to deal with him, so he was just getting beat left and right from uncles, grandfather, his dad. Like, everybody was beating his ass all the time to stay still. No one understood what he was struggling with. So that came when we grew up. It's the way he dealt with things. He just beat our asses and then be like, let's go buy something. So it's like, beat your ass, then let's go buy something. So I think we've all experienced mental health within our family, and I don't know. I feel like our community sees it the most, and we don't even know what we're dealing with. We just say, like, our parents they're crazy, or they're strict, or they're this, and we don't know that they're battling with something. What about you, DJ?
Family, like, immediate family, no, but like I did I mention in the last episode, my uncle committed suicide. So don't know. There were no signs of anything going on before it just happened.
Without any signs, no one knew anything, and even after his death, no one's talked about it.
We talked about it, but not like. It's very strong guy. Didn't really, voice if there was anything going on. So no idea what happened exactly, but just something that happened. And I think that was the first real, like, hit of, like, some kind of mental disorder going on, illness in my family. And
did he leave anything behind? That's something that scares me always. If something like that were to happen close to me.
It's my uncle, so, like.
No, I mean, like a letter or something.
No, that's what I'm saying. Anything that's left behind, I'm sure my cousins have it or something like that. So I don't know, and because that's still it's still a touchy subject from our cousins.
It's a taboo thing, and I feel like them keeping it quiet, which many families do, is like, whatever happens between our family stays within our family. When we don't open up about it, someone else, there could be a cousin, a second cousin, a friend that could be going through it as well.
Yeah.
Right.
So if we were to open up and speak about it,
it's a stigma. Go ahead.
One thing I will say that my family is very good at is that when something does happen, or we feel like somebody's going through something, or we haven't heard from somebody, we are very good at, like, shooting out a message to everybody, like, hey, go check on such and such, or text them, tell them you love them. They're still dealing with, what's going on and stuff like that. So that's one thing my family is very good at. It just never was any talk about professional help.
Yeah. When it comes to suicides and when it comes to religion, suicide is like the most ultimate sin. That's like one of the sure ways that you go to hell. So a lot of people really they're ashamed of it when it comes to, like, someone in my family committed suicide. It's like, it's always like a shame on the family from that. I had a friend, his mom, he found his mom dead. And she shot herself in the head.
Oh my God.
Now, she was bipolar as well. And she was schizophrenic. She wasn't bipolar. So she, according to him, we had a deep conversation about it. She stopped taking her medicine, and she started hearing voices and everything like that, and she ended up committing suicide. Now, because she committed suicide, now he has kept this a secret. Like the family, no one know, because he was the one that found her. So he just kept it. He was the only child. He kept it away from the family because he didn't want anybody to judge.
Such a burden to keep on.
It's a big burden because he inherited her house, but he also couldn't get her life insurance policy because when you commit suicide, you don't collect on
get out.
That was one of that's one of the fine prints. It's a clause. So he fronted as if his mom has left him all this money, like he was able to take care of this. He was able to gave her this grand burial, this funeral, and just went through his savings just to try to keep up his mom image because he didn't want anybody to know
that she committed suicide.
She committed suicide, and then he was left with actually debt, not she left me money.
That's crazy to me. The suicide issue. People are going through some shit when they commit suicide because you see Robin Williams, which I loved, and what's her Kate Spade, who just did it, and Anthony Bourdain.
Yes,
all these people have money.
It's not.
That's not happiness. The money didn't equal happiness, but they had children.
Yeah,
and especially Kate Spade had a 13-year-old daughter.
Yeah.
When I think about my 13-year-old daughter, you know how fucked up you're leaving them behind because you do this? So how bad was it? How bad did it have to be for you to commit suicide knowing that now you're fucking up your child?
Depression is a very deep, dark place that is kind of hard to get out of. It's a slippery slope. So once you actually start to seep into that, if you don't do things to try to, lift yourself up out of it, you can go to it really, really dark and nothing else matters. Like you feel like you're worth nothing. You actually start asking yourself, like, why am I alive? I would be better off dead for my kids. And this is my mom's words. Like she always tells me this. Like sometimes I feel like I would be better off dead than to be alive for you guys because I feel like I'm a burden. You actually, and when you're in that depressive
and
state,
they don't realize that it's
you feel like you don't want to you don't want to call anybody and tell anybody, hey, this is what I'm going through, because you don't want to be a burden to anyone. You feel embarrassed about being that low,
and you see, I'm not saying often, but we do see in the cultures where white people they're more open to say, hey, I need help, because they know they'll get the help, and they'll get the help from someone that looks like them and that will understand them.
They believe in therapy. They're educated to talk about therapy. If the 13-year-old Billy is going through it with his mom will take them to a family therapist so Billy can express himself.
But they'll take them to Susie, who Susie will understand because she has another Billy. Like, they can't take them to, a Natasha that has a Tyrone as a son, because those two kids are completely different. So it depends on the therapist, because that's why Taraji's thing was like huge to me, because it's not just giving the help, I'm giving you the help. She's making people and giving them the money and the education to be able to help for the greater good everyone else. Because what does it help if you're just giving them money for this? You know what I mean?
I want to touch on something that you just said. You said that basically Billy and his mom can go talk to somebody else because she has a Billy like that, but Natasha can't go talk about Tyrone because it's not another Tyrone.
Right.
What I have come to understand, and from conversations with friends and conversations with my parents and all this stuff, our issues are not that much different. The same thing that your family, like we talked about last week on the anger management episode about how we express our anger. So it was something that was taught from our parents. We come from two different cultures. However, it's the same issue. It was something that was brought down from my parents. Meaning to say, I don't think mental diseases is anything different. Like what I'm going through is not something that I can't relate to you. Although I'm not going through it, I can relate.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So it's always something you need to talk to somebody, because pretty sure what you're going through, somebody has been through it and they can relate.
But do you think a white man can relate to what you go through on an everyday basis?
So
go ahead.
I was
about to say, I don't even think it's that. It's more so the resources aren't available to us as they are available to white. How many times do you pass through just the hood and see a family therapist office?
And I work in Winter Park, and they're in every corner.
Yes.
Every building has like 10 therapists.
So it's not that the issues might be the same, but they stem from different places. But also, we don't have the resources in our communities that are available to us. I feel like the only time, and this is just me thinking back now, like just reminiscing, the only time that I can even think of a therapist or something that resembled a therapist being around was a guidance counselor. That was it.
Yeah.
Or Ricky Lake being on TV, and she was our fucking therapist, to be honest with you. Like, it was stuff like talk shows tend to be our outlet.
Yep.
Like, we get our law advice from watching the fucking People's Court.
Listen.
My mama calls me all the time and try to give me fucking law advice. I saw on Judge Judy, and this and that, and this is where we
Judge
learn.
Judy is my law Bible. I will go to
guys
Judge
could
Judy before I go to my
have a
sister, who's a whole real lawyer.
Right, right.
Now, you know, on Perry
But-
Mason the other night, they said.
Going back to what CJ said earlier about, you know, his family knew if something was going on to reach out to each other. And it's the thing, you need to talk to your family. Like, it's good to talk to somebody.
Right.
You know, I experienced my first case of depression a couple of months ago, and I didn't know what the hell was going on, to be honest with you. It was like, I felt like, you know, me throwing my parties or whatever, and whenever I had a bad, even if I didn't, if I set a goal for myself and I don't hit it, I will beat myself up, like, really, really bad. I've done this
hate
as a
that
child.
when it goes.
I hate losing. I am a perfectionist.
Ooh.
And it's like, if I care about something, I take it very seriously. And if I fail at it, I'm really hard on myself. So I will wake up every morning telling myself I wasn't shit. I was horrible at what I did. I'm not as big as I
Maybe
thought
I should
was.
quit.
Maybe I should quit. And it's just like, I actually, and trust me, I have a very high confident personality. Everybody knows that about me. I know I'm the shit. But
You're a D.
I'm a high D and I'm a high I too. But it flips
High on both.
yeah, it flips. I'm 99% D and like 95% I. But when it comes to you know, that what ended up happening was I started believing the things that I was saying, and it
You
got
speak it
worse.
into the universe.
I spoke it into existence, and it started getting worse, where I didn't even want to leave the house. I was locked up in my house for a whole month. Like, I would not leave to go anywhere. And with my type of job, it's easy for me to do
Your
that.
ass need to go out.
So
Is it easy? Don't you need to go show houses?
no, even though I can do everything from my computer. I can do everything. If I have to show houses, I can go ahead and put clothes on and then get in my car and go show houses for 2 hours and then come right back
I
in.
think that's a difference
and put that
between
face.
a real deep, like, there's levels to depression,
Yeah.
of course,
Yeah.
and I think that's the difference between a real deep one, because I like to watch private practice, and I learn all my doctor stuff there, how to do surgeries. The same way
Right.
we go to Judge Judy, I can do a whole brain surgery from private practice. But you see some people that are really depressed, and they legit cannot physically move.
Yeah,
They cannot
you can't.
physically feed themselves. They can't. Some of them have these like phobias of people, and they see someone or they can't leave their house. And there was one that the daughter was getting married, and they were like, I can't make it to the wedding. I can't go out there. I can't leave my house.
You can't. And it starts to affect your friendships, your relationships. It affects life because you know you need to get up and plan your day. You know you need to get up and clean your house. You know you need to get up and take the dog out. But you just cannot move. And like I said, that was the first time in my life I ever experienced it. I always hear people talk about being depressed, but I always thought it was just like, oh, I'm just down for the day. Oh, I'm having a bad, sucky day. I'm depressed. No, it was like an actual thing that went on forever. And I tried to do things. It wasn't until I talked to one of my good friends, and I told her like, hey, girl, I think I'm depressed. And I told her I was going through it, and she immediately sprung into action. Okay, let me start speaking. You know, we start talking about positive things. We start creating a plan. Okay, these are the things that we need to start doing. You need to get out of the house. Like, let's do this. And it helped me immediately, like, crawl out of it before it got too deep.
Yeah.
But, yeah,
That's with you,
That's why
DJ.
talking to family and friends is important.
It's important.
And what made me think of that was you said that your mom laid out everything on the table for you. So for her, you were her first therapist.
I was her first day.
So-
I'm my mom's like actual best friend. She calls
Yeah.
me whenever she's
Aw.
going through something, and we talk on a very, very deep level. And that's
But with
why I
her
feel-
being open as well, that is something that could be, it's like it could be biologically sent to like the children. So
Right.
with her being open about it, you could be struggling with that. Your sister or
right.
your
My sister
nephew.
suffers from anxiety.
Right. So now
yeah.
it's like you've gone through it. Let's talk about it. Maybe
Yeah.
whatever helps you maybe can help me too.
Mm-hmm.
So talking about it does help, and it can help another family member or a friend that might also be going through it. If you're battling with it by yourself, you don't know if that other person is also doing it, and then they have a therapist or they have already coping mechanisms
Yep.
that can help you as well. Talk about it. Don't
And that's
stay
what
quiet.
it is. And I talk, and my friends, I had to talk to certain type of friends, okay? They have to be in a certain type of mental space. Now, some friends that I've talked to, and I told them, like, hey, I'm becoming depressed. Oh, you better pray. Pray, child. And it's like, okay, thank you. I know not to come to you.
And that's what our community has gone through for so long. Is the first
Exactly.
thing we say, like, you got to pray, or you know,
Pray that off of you.
Yeah.
Get that bad spirit off of you. It's
Right,
like,
and I'm thinking with you with what you do, DJ, like yoga.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have people that are in like a shitty mental state, and you tell them like, let's do this?
Absolutely. I recommend it to everybody. Like my family, if they they come to me with now because I'm a personal trainer, yoga instructor. I'm automatically like people's doctor.
Right.
But they come to me like, oh, I need to work on this, or hey, I'm feeling this way, or this part of my body's hurting. And I said it last time. I know I said this last time. My recommendation for everything is yoga. Like yoga puts you in a space where you can actually sift through the bullshit that's going on in your life. Yeah.
So I just went on Sunday to hot yoga.
Uh-oh.
And you told me focus on your breathing.
Yeah.
Bitch. I focused on the breathing, then I thought I was gonna fart. And then you told me I could not.
What did I say?
You told me to fart anyway, but I was not going to do it. It was hot in there. Can you imagine
that? Wouldn't have changed anything.
The magnified.
Yeah, I did it a couple weeks ago. I used to do it a lot.
Though. It feels like a workout, but I couldn't get my brain to shut down, DJ. It will not. Like, I feel like it's physically impossible for my brain to stop.
I used to think the same thing. I listened to Oprah's Super Soul Conversation. Yes, exactly. And we talked about Deepak. And
yes, Deepak.
I was like, what is she trying to say?
Oprah Chopra something. Deepak.
But anyway, he introduced me to meditation. This is when I was going through that. Yeah, I was going through. I have the app too. So basically, what it was like what works for me is having a centering thought. Or a mantra, basically. And what I'm able to do is focus on that mantra and let those thoughts go ahead and pop up. And just like they're on a movie screen, but I'm not giving it any attention. And once I do that, then I'm able to go to that silent space where the only thing I am is that centering thought. And then what happens?
You sound so peaceful.
Yes.
Like even him just saying that.
Yes.
I
but
want
think about
that
a few minutes ago. Think about a few minutes ago when he was saying that when he was going through his depressive stage, that he would say things and then he would start to become that. But at that point, it was negative.
Yes.
So meditation is just you saying something positive and continue to reiterate that to yourself. Yes. Breathe life into it.
Exactly.
So that's why I say when you say you can't get out of your brain now, if you're stuck in your head, put something in there that you can focus on that's going to bring you positivity.
I really want in the middle of the yoga. I thought about at the end where they have you to just lay down and what is it called?
Shavasana.
My favorite part.
Yes, you just lay there, which I feel like it should be my favorite part too because I'm tired as hell. I'm sweaty as hell. I couldn't calm down. I kept my eyes kept opening. I'm looking around to see what everybody else is doing.
Yeah.
So I thought about maybe I should take my anxiety medication before I go to yoga.
No, what you need to do.
But then
that's the thing. There's no real rules to yoga. If you lay there and your eyes are open, that's fine.
But they weren't just open. I was looking around like, what's everybody doing? Is she as sweaty as I am? What her shorts look like? Let me see her hair. Oh, my braids, and I start messing with my braids.
And that's one thing that meditation will help you with.
What are you doing throughout the course of your day before you go to yoga is the next thing. So not just what are you doing in that particular moment, but what is your mental diet like leading up to that? So what are you watching? What are you listening to?
I was watching Sugar Queen.
So stuff like that. And even with the when you do the shit you should know and stuff like that, some of this stuff I've never heard of, or I know Aaron Hernandez because I played in the NFL. So, but just the suicide letters coming out, didn't know that happened.
Right.
I don't know what the fuck's going on in football. I played professional football. I don't know what's going on in football. I've literally detached from TV.
Yeah.
Even I'm on social media because that's how I run my business. I have to promote stuff, but I will get on Instagram for a hot second and then hop right off, and I won't know what the fuck's going on for the rest of the day. I'm literally with family, with clients, and then I'm finding a moment to myself. So today I just laid the fuck down and listen to podcasts.
Right.
So what's your mental diet like? That's what can also be adding to your anxiety, is because you're too worried about what this motherfucker's wearing. Say if you didn't know what the latest fashion was in the moment, would you really care what that person had on?
No,
because you wouldn't know what it was anyway.
You're 100% right. And that's one thing I had to be aware of. When I was throwing parties, I was constantly on social media looking at everybody's social media.
Now I gotta worry about my food diet and my mental diet.
Yeah, but you're absorbing what you see on social media, and it's a lot of negativity and a lot of faking, and it's a lot of things that will make you feel like your life is not shit.
I was just telling my best friend Carla, she's stopped following someone because she's so damn negative, and I said honestly, if you follow negative people on Instagram, your thoughts start becoming negative, and I hate following the ones that break up all the time and are negative. I don't follow those.
So I had two different social media pages. I have Bertram Productions and I have Tony the Realtor. Now my Tony the Realtor page,
Plug.
huh? But no, I'm sales, right? But anyway, my Tony the Realtor page is all about motivational speakers.
Yeah.
It's about athletes working out. It's just so much positivity on there. My Bertram Production page, because I need these ratchet people to come out and spend their money at this fucking club. They spend the most money anyway. I had to follow these people and become invested in their lives in order to build like a reputation, a rapport with them. So again, like I said, I just started absorbing all that negativity. My fucking vocabulary and stuff and my conversations was including Cardi B and motherfucking Nicki Minaj and stuff like that versus me talking about interest rates and, you know, working out and everything.
Yeah.
Everything about me changed because of what I was getting from social media.
So my mental diet, I need to go on a
mental
juicing
diet.
cleanse
Yeah.
for my mental too.
What you listen to, what
Yeah.
you watch, who you talk to, what you say. So just like we said earlier, the things you say become your reality. So if you're constantly saying, and that's another thing with mental health, is some of these things are very real, but there are some cases where, say somebody who's what's the word I'm thinking of? I can't even think right now, but what's somebody who says they're sick and they come
Hypochondriac.
There we go, hypochondriac. So sometimes that can become your mental reality is when you constantly say, oh, I'm going through anxiety right now, I'm going through anxiety. You're causing yourself anxiety by constantly saying it.
I knew someone who was always sick.
If you say that, but think about how negative you felt if you were around somebody who always did that all the time. Now think how much worse it is when you're the one doing it all the time.
Right. You know, it's so funny because we did not become aware of this until, like I said, until this year when I just turned 30. And it's like the older I got, the more I started becoming aware of my mental health and my and like what I was actually allowing into my mental space and my energy and stuff like that. And like when I was in my 20s, it was just like whatever. It's just it's whatever comes. I'm just processing it as it comes, as it goes. But when you get older, you've been through it a little bit, and you just want to protect your peace. That's basically what it is.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
So I guess we definitely should do that now that we're in our 30s. It's just take time. I bought 13 classes, babe. We're gonna get this done. We are going to get this shit.
With you.
Come with me.
13 classes is what?
Of yoga.
Okay. Oh, 13 classes.
Yes.
Got
yes.
you. Okay,
so I
got
have
you.
13 sessions to go to. They're paid for, so my
Right.
ass gotta go.
Right.
And I have to get this better because this anxiety is killing me. I don't want to take my medication just because it's not to the point where I can't leave the house or, you know, it gets bad, but it's not where it's affecting me too much yet.
Right.
It affects me
Don't
with,
say yet.
it's not going to affect me at all, but it affects me with my daughter. Like, I'll go off sometimes and she'll do certain things and I'm like, you know, my hand gonna go. I'm screaming at her and she's like, you're always screaming. And I'm like, well, this is what you gotta do. And it's like she's telling me you're screaming. I'm like, no, I'm not. You know, and I'm still screaming, and it's because I'm short tempered. I'm like, I just need this done, and I literally feel like all four walls are closing on me at certain times.
Right.
And she doesn't understand that. She's totally different.
I read a quote that really helped me recently. It broke down. It said, if you're anxious, if you have anxiety, you're living in the future. If you're depressed, you're living in the past. And if you're happy, you're living in the present. So once I thought about that, anxious people are always, you know, anxious about what's going to happen. All this, and it hasn't even happened yet, and we're freaking ourselves out.
I'm a control freak.
crazy.
I like to know what's going
I literally
happening.
say that in my classes when I go take them into Shavasana, which is, you know, the pose that everybody loves. I literally say, like, if you're becoming anxious, you're thinking about something that's going to happen. Don't think about what happens once you step off the mat. If you're depressed, you're thinking about something that happened before you stepped on the mat. All I want you to focus on is right now. Your breath, how you're feeling, how relaxed you are, if you're relaxed. Like, if you have something that goes into your mind, allow it to go in, try to sift through it, but use the breath to get back out of it. So I haven't been meditating all my life. So when I would start, I would think about stuff too, but I would also take a deep inhale, just let that thought get foggy, and then exhale and just literally pretend or visualize that I'm blowing that thought out of my mind.
I learned to
try
live.
this.
Yeah, I learned to live in the moment a lot more now. Like if I'm having an amazing experience, like I had a massage the other day, and it was just like, Anthony, just
That's
let it
another
go.
time I can't relax at a massage.
And listen, I just let it go. Enjoy this moment right now. This is not something you have every day. Enjoy this.
Yeah.
And just being aware made me appreciate the massage even more. I did not allow myself like, damn it, I need to call this client back, or I need to do this. I need to pay that bill tomorrow. Fuck. And all that. No, I was able to just be in the moment. So even right now in this present moment, I'm enjoying sitting here having this conversation.
Yeah.
Like being present and being happy. And it's just
See, with this, because I love doing it, I'm cool.
right.
I go to the massage. I have a Massage Envy membership. You know how many massages I have paid for? 11 that I haven't used.
I'll send them over here. Especially
I can
after
only
workouts,
give
yeah.
to like one person every 6 months, but I have them saved up because I like the massage. Yeah, it's cool, but when I'm sitting there, I can't just relax. It's so hard, but we're gonna work on this. Let's go.
We are. You're our new project.
Please.
But no,
because
this is a very good conversation. I told Carla before we even got here, I was like, I don't know how much I'll be able to give to this conversation. So what I want to do is, if I can throw a little something in there, I will. But what I want to do is listen, because I want to be able to take this information elsewhere and try to help somebody out with it.
I was listening to another podcast, and it was talking about finding light in the darkness and stuff. And what I tried to do is apply that to my life. And when I was in that dark moment, what that led me to yoga. Meditation on a deeper level. It led me to self-help books. You know, it
Love
led
self-help
me.
books.
Yeah, and oh my God, self-help books has helped me so much. And it's like now I'm able to pinpoint and see like, hey, I'm not a crazy freak. Other people are going through the exact
I
same
like
thing I'm going
biographies
through.
too, like Charlamagne's and Tiffany Haddish.
Yeah.
Right.
Because you see where they came from and how they got off the
Success leaves
obstacles
clues.
from
Yeah.
actual people. Like
Yeah.
they went through certain shit, and it could
Exactly.
be similar from where you came from, and you're like, okay, if they got through it, I can too. Maybe they did this. I need this. Their same hustle, their same. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
it gets your spirits up seeing someone do it.
I am learning success from failures. I am learning to use success as stepping points to get to where I want to go, right? Like in sales, you know, we always are taught that every no gets you to that yes.
Yeah.
And that's what you're looking for. So yes, every time you hear a no, get happy. Yes, okay, good. I'm closer to that.
coming.
And then, right. And we break it, and just to break it down even further, what I'm doing is I'm learning from these no's. Okay, good. Because I know what I did to get this no, I'm not going to do for the next one. Okay, good. I'm going to overcome that obstacle. And what's ended up happening, like I said, I'm just changing my mindset, and I'm looking at things a lot different, a lot brighter. I'm not looking at the bad out of it anymore. So yeah.
So I loved it, guys.
That
You
was
guys.
the first thing I thought of is, like, after my uncle passed, went to his funeral, saw, because he was a school teacher, saw the amount of kids that were there who loved him, the celebrities that were there that loved him, and all these co-workers and people that he traveled with and stuff like that. And his, like, just seeing that right there out of something so dark as my uncle's funeral pushed me to go into yoga teacher training. So now I've tried, like, pretty much made or stepped onto this path through the darkness that was that tragedy in my family, and hope just me trying to use yoga now to step back and say, okay, now I can help other people, you know, get out of their dark, you know, funk that they're in.
Yeah. And I mean, to wrap this up, basically, if you're going through something, speak up. If you need help,
Yes.
seek it. If you need ways of coping with it, find help. So if it's not therapy and you can't afford it, there are programs. There are hotlines you can call, and I'll actually look for the ones that I saw and put them on the description. You can call, and you can always find someone that's going through something just like you. And your friends can help, family can help, online can help.
Yes.
Not Instagram and the ratchet shit.
Yeah.
Like, look for something to help you, and then I don't know. It's just something that's, it's not bad. Yes, we all go through it. It's different levels of it, but we all go through it, and it's normal. I
The
mean,
main thing is to seek help. You just don't know what's going on. I'm not going to get into it, but Iyanla had a point about Neffy. Neffy came out. She was on the show, and she was like, I was diagnosed with being bipolar. So she was like, why didn't you go see a
I love
therapist?
Iyanla.
And she was just like, because I'm not crazy. I'm not going to take no medicine. She was like, sweetie, the brain is a muscle. So just imagine the muscle getting hit over and over and over and over again. What happens to that muscle? That muscle wears down. That muscle begins to break down. Your brain is doing the exact same thing. All the trauma you've been through in your life, you need help. Seek help. You go to a doctor whenever you're feeling sick and ill. The same thing for,
the therapy,
your mental.
sometimes it doesn't require medication.
It does not.
Just the
Yeah.
therapy can help you get better. I'm going to get a therapist too. Watch. I've been saying this and I haven't done it yet, but I'm going to do it. Let's move on to, real quick, unsolicited advice. And there is one that ties into all of this. And I think it's great because you just went off on me about this today. And DJ.
Don't get me started.
And it's from, so I received this letter. Again, it's unsolicited advice, so sometimes they're solicited, sometimes they're unsolicited. They just didn't fucking ask us for our opinion, and we're gonna give them anyway. It says, I'm 31 years old. I weigh 270 pounds. I'm struggling to lose weight, and it's making me more depressed, even even though I already take medication for depression. I'm trying my best to lose the pounds, but they're not coming off. I still weigh the same. I feel depressed just writing this. I don't know what to do anymore. I don't want to be a big girl anymore. What can I do? I feel like I'm a failure.
So, what I would say, first off, same thing is when we're talking about mental health, seek help. Nobody's born a fitness guru, so it's natural for you not to know what exactly you need to do to lose the weight. So seek help. If you need to find a trainer, find somebody, again, just like with therapy, find somebody who can relate to you. So depending on if you're man, woman, black, white, find somebody who you feel comfortable with, who's not gonna, like pretty much shit on you or talk bad or berate you or anything like that in your sessions. Find somebody who can help you. The other thing, I was telling Carla, and this has to do with just weight. One thing, throw away your scale. That's the one thing. That's the first thing I tell all my clients. Throw your scale away. The scale means absolutely nothing. It's a number. Right now I weigh 185 pounds.
And he looks like he's 150.
Exactly. But the reason I said that, I asked Carla, I said, before I step on the scale, how much do you think I weigh? She said 160. Stepped on, I was literally 25 pounds more. If you sit somebody next to me who's the same weight, but who has higher body fat percentage, they're going to look completely different. So when you get into this fitness journey, or when you find somebody who helps you or who's helping you out, make sure that you throw your scale away. The number on the scale means absolutely nothing, because that's not how your health is determined. Your health is determined by body fat percentage. So make sure that you're measuring that rather than your weight, because the weight I can literally put on 10 pounds of muscle and look thinner. So it means absolutely nothing.
She's at a high weight, and with her saying she's already depressed, probably within her depression, she's probably turning to food when she's upset.
That's the other thing I was going to say is make sure that you watch what you're eating. You may need a therapist for this. This may be something that you're struggling with, that you need somebody to talk to. But again, find somebody who can help you out in that realm, and also find somebody who can help you out in the fitness world that really can encourage you, not just put you through a workout and send you on your way, who will encourage you and who will actually help guide you along the way. It may take a while to find that person. It may take the first person you talk to help you out, but make sure
if you're in Florida, you can go to D-Day.
Yeah, you can come to me.
One thing, I went through a whole weight loss transformation too.
You did. This is the reason why I like this letter.
Yeah. But I went through from being like, I was never like the fit kid, but I wasn't a fat kid. I didn't start getting fat until I got in a relationship and got real comfortable, and I got really heavy. So Jesus was like, but I still thought I was a bad bitch though. You couldn't tell me anything different. Like, my friends were like, you had no idea. I didn't. So my main thing was though, and
how much weight did you lose?
So I went from being like 250 to like my lowest was like 210, but right now I go between 215 and 220 because I'm packing on muscle. Like, that's basically what it is. I don't use the scale either. I just use the scale as a gauge just for me to keep in mind, like, this is how much I weigh. But I know my muscle weight's different. It's heavier, more dense than fat.
There you go.
So, but my whole thing was, in order for me to lose that weight, what I had to think about is, why am I doing this and why do I feel this way? And once you discover this big why, like, hey, I want to be healthy. This is why I'm doing it. Or, hey, I want to look good in this particular, for myself. You have to find this self-motivation in order for you to stay on track and keep going. I did this whole thing too with diets, yo-yo diets, going to trainers and like, fuck you, I'm not doing this no more. You don't whoop my ass too bad. It was just me just trying to find that motivation. I was like, Anthony, why are you doing this? And so I just want to be healthy. My doctor was going to prescribe me high blood pressure medication, and I did not want to be on high blood pressure medication at 25 years old. Yeah. Or 27. So yeah, I just went ahead and just did what I had to do, and I started liking what I saw in the mirror, and I just got an addiction for it.
That's actually one of the reasons why I'm trying to take you seriously, DJ, and working out with you, because I am a yo-yo dieter. Mm-hmm. When I'm going on vacation, I get fine as fuck. I come back and I gain them 10, 12 pounds right back. And I just be like, oh, whatever. Oh, I'm going on vacation again. Let me lose it again. Yeah. So I never stick to it. And when I lose it, I love how I look. But I don't stick to it just because I don't have the motivation of going to the gym by myself. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm busy all day. So it's like, if no one's there waiting for me, why? And then if you're in a relationship, what the hell does it matter? Right. He gonna do me anyway whether I'm fat or I'm skinny.
Right.
So I want to keep it going. So hopefully, like, I can get into this.
I just think your why wasn't strong enough. You know, like you
My
just
why's
said.
still not strong enough.
Yeah,
Because I'm
going
still a
to-
bad bitch when I'm looking for the mirror.
Yeah.
I've been having a little extra gut, but I'm like, bitch, I'm
You're
cute.
still bad.
I'm cute.
Exactly. You become
But
comfortable
it's
in it.
getting harder to
Yeah.
lose these 10 pounds.
So
I could
you-
lose them in a month, and it's been a month, and I'm not losing shit.
Right, you just had that why, like, I need to go on this vacation. So once you hit that vacation, what happened? You went
have
back
no
to your
why
old
anymore.
eating. Exactly, your why is gone. It has to be something, and this applies to life. Period.
Yeah.
You have to have a strong why. Like I'm pretty
Well,
sure your daughter
now is a big why is
Yeah.
I have high blood pressure, and I'm just like my father. I know I'll probably get heart problems as well.
Yeah.
And I need to take good care of this. He died at 60. My grandfather died in his 60s. Before that, other grandfather died in his 60s too. All of like heart problems.
Mm-hmm.
Did any of them have the information that you have right now or the resources?
No, they all ate shitty
Mm-hmm.
fried foods, rice all the time, like did whatever they didn't.
Yeah, my
but
dad-
I have, and I know that I want to probably live a little bit longer,
Yeah.
healthier life. I don't want to be 65 and be like with tubes in my nose and all kinds
Yeah.
of like
Yeah.
heart issues.
My dad died from diabetes complications as well. So that was like, and he was young. Like he died in his like late 40s. I think he was like 47,
Oh my
48.
God, you're super young.
He was super young. Yeah, he stepped on a nail and
We're
he
about to be
wasn't
40.
Yeah, exactly. I think about that all the time. But yeah, it just comes from that was one. Like I said, I lost him. Then my sister had high blood pressure. My grandmother suffers from high blood. Like everybody in my family.
Right.
And it just comes from bad dieting. But we also, as a black,
my
we're
God,
not
that's
taught
it.
about that. The food that we were given in slavery days was fucking leftovers from the
Exactly.
fucking pig. That's the things that we were eating with things that we were not supposed to like.
Right, they taste good.
Exactly. You
Not
had to make
bacon.
it taste good with all the salt and fat.
Right.
That's basically what it was. So yeah, we just wasn't taught about a healthy diet.
You didn't
like,
have the resources, but that's what I'm saying. Now you have the resources. You can research what you need to do, what you can and can't be eating, and what you need to do, what you don't need to be doing. Just think about when we were kids. Like I didn't even know the word diabetes. We knew it as the sugar or the
Yeah,
the
high blood sugar or something like
yeah,
that.
you got
They gotta take insulin. They
Yeah.
gotta shoot themselves up with insulin.
So, like, even then, like, us as kids, we didn't even know what the actual scientific word was. So now we actually have the causes and what we can do to prevent it, what we can do to, because it can be healed.
Yeah.
Like, that's one thing that people don't realize is stuff like that, high blood pressure, diabetes, that can be healed.
yeah.
Michelle Obama brought that was one thing. One of her missions was to bring awareness to especially brown and black kids about nutrition. The whole
Yes.
Let's Move
Yes.
thing with Beyonce. It was more all about nutrition because again, it wasn't taught to us, and the best way we can learn from it if it's taught in school.
Our
So
idea of salads when we were kids was greens.
it was greens. That was
Right.
it.
And with bacon in it.
Yeah.
They had bacon in it.
So yeah, you have the resources available. This is back to the woman. You have the resources available. Find someone who can help you. Again, like Anthony said, have a stronger why. I don't know what her why is right now, but if it's the biggest why should be so that you can live a long, healthy, and happy life. So that in and of itself should be the reason why you find the help that you need. And again, you can talk to a therapist. That may be the reason as far as the eating, why there's a issue there, but then also talk to somebody. Invest in your health. That's
Yes,
pretty much
that's
what I'm saying.
Invest in your health. That's right. Now I do
Yes.
have another one. I have a listener. This one's very much solicited. She sent me an email, and she didn't say if she wanted to be anonymous or not. So I'm just gonna keep her anonymous.
check it out.
I wanted to read it on my phone, but I just cracked my phone real bad
I saw
today.
I saw that post.
Oh
Oh my god!
my
I know
God.
you feel. You
Listen,
have insurance?
Yeah, so it'll be $29, but I gotta go to the mall, and I don't have time to go to the mall, so I'll do it this weekend.
It's only how much?
$29.
Give me 50. I'm gonna do it for you.
Why don't I give you? Oh, bye. Okay. It says, "Hello. I recently visited my military boyfriend at his location. I had some anxiety when I was there with him. He didn't know what to do with me, and that really hurt me. But I can't expect anyone to know how to deal with people that have anxiety. I'm the first one that he met. I'm the first woman that he's met in his life that's dealt with it. The last night before I had to go home, I was bawling my eyes out because I'm not sure when's the next time I'm going to see him again." She got a whole lot of punctuations in here. "He was doing his best to calm me down, but at least he tried. I forgot to mention that he's a gamer. So the last day we went out for lunch and went back to his friend's place and he started to play video games, and I was going to leave within the next 3 hours. I got upset and left the room. He followed me and asked me why I was so upset. When he told me that he was frustrated with me because I was crying the night before And if I act like that again, he doesn't know what he would do. What are your thoughts? Thanks.
Y'all need to be together. And I didn't want to say that outright, but
Just straight up. Don't.
I mean, because
I feel like
that's not something he can get. Like, he's in the military. It's not something he's
Right.
going to be able to get out of in the next week to be able to reconcile this. So
To help you with it, like it seems
Yeah.
like you need help. One to deal because
First thing.
if she doesn't, you don't know how to deal with your own anxiety. You can expect someone else to know how to deal with it. So you kind of have to learn how to cope with it yourself first. Figure out what's triggering you. We talked about this in the anger management one. There's certain things that are triggering you. So if him playing, or it seems like she mentioned it a few times, I don't know when I'm going to see him again. I'm leaving in the next 3 hours. He's in the military. You're anxious about something, and it has to do with his job.
Yeah.
So if this is not like a super serious relationship, she didn't say how long they've been together. It might not be the right person for you to be with.
exactly. And
Because being
not
with
saying
someone,
there's anything wrong with either one of them. It's just
No.
that they might not be.
right? Someone probably in
might
the
not be a
military
cohesive
needs
thing.
someone very calm, very nurturing, very relaxed. Like you can leave for a year and they'll hold it down. Not that it's not gonna hurt or they'll be sad.
Right.
But I don't think if they get serious, have a baby, and he goes off to go to war, what the fuck are you gonna do?
Her
Your anxiety is gonna
be
go
bad.
crazy.
And then also just thinking on his side, I'm not taking anybody's side, but just saying he's in the military, so his anxiety might be high as well. Maybe gaming is his coping mechanism.
Right.
So her going crazy, he might not be able to handle that because he has to deal with that as well in himself when he's deployed
I didn't
or
even
when
think of
he's
that.
going through PT or something like that. So that game might be the only thing.
Or
keeping
him just being anxious of the fact that I could be sent off at any minute.
Exactly.
Like it's like let me just calm myself
so
a
it's
little
not
bit.
saying that the two people aren't right together. It's just those two situations aren't good at the time. Maybe when he's done with his stint in the military,
Right.
maybe if he retires or whatever it may be, then y'all can probably, if y'all are still interested, y'all can go back and try to
Get back
explore
together.
that,
But right
but-
now they're probably two time bombs, like going off, and they're just gonna clash heads because he needs to deal with his, she needs to deal with him. They
Yeah.
can't do it
So
together.
I have a different outlook on this.
Do you?
I do. I dated somebody that had anxiety, and I didn't know what the fuck was going on. I was like, what the fuck you mean you got anxiety? Okay, well, get over it. Like, I just didn't know. Now, I would tell you this. It's good to learn things together. Like, obviously, she doesn't know how to cope with anxiety, and he doesn't know how to deal with it.
Right.
It should be something that they both come together and research together, and something they can learn about together. And was like, hey, these things kind of help me out. To like, if you do this, to try
But you
to
need
help
the
me.
time.
That's what I was about to say.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure they talk. Like, is he in the Navy or something like that? Where he's out on the ship that they don't talk every day or
Well,
something?
even talking, because it seems like she has like that separation anxiety.
Well, the
So
fact that she
even
had
if
to-
you're talking,
The fact that she had to visit him, he had to be deployed somewhere. So
Or, like,
he
on
probably
some
doesn't have the
base.
time to.
So her anxiety comes from not being with her man.
it seems like it's like he's about to leave. I'm not going to see him again. Like, you know what I mean? She has already issues. Child, they just don't seem like they need to be together
I
right
see
now.
the gears turning in your head right
Because
now.
I'm gonna tell you the truth. Like, I listen to it sometimes, and then that's my problem. I half listen to a story, and I try to listen for key points. See, and I guess I got
She
the
didn't
wrong
give a
key
lot.
point. She didn't give a lot, but yeah. Well, my whole thing is trying to save something. But I guess if your actual anxiety is coming from that man leaving you, and that's his job.
He said-
Well, that should
You need
be
to
the
get
most
you somebody
healthy
to work
person
at
in
Best
a
Buy.
relationship with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, somebody work
That's what
down
I'm
the
saying.
street.
Maybe once he's out of the military, or maybe he has some time back home, maybe they can explore and see, and then they can start to seek help together.
Yeah.
But at this very moment, while he's in whatever base or whatever, he can't.
By that time, he's going to have a whole new
He
girlfriend.
can't go AWOL to come check out what girlfriend.
People
He
need.
goes, there's girls in the military.
People need to put themselves
If he
in better
can't deal with her
situations.
anxiety, how he gonna deal with somebody else who's in the military?
They going to be hanging out together. Let's mom this nigga. Boom!
It's so crazy. I just think people need to put themselves in better positions of success. It's like, if you know you suffer from anxiety and you need to be around someone 24/7, maybe being in somebody.
Maybe not 24/7, but what you said is
Yeah.
right. Learn about it together. But it
Yeah.
would have to be someone that you're with a couple of times a
Yeah.
week. Let's talk
Yeah.
about this. Maybe we can cope. Like on Tuesdays we do this together. On Wednesdays we go to therapy together. They can't really go to therapy together.
Yeah, but she shouldn't have got in a relationship with him in the first place. That's my
Yeah.
whole thing.
I don't.
It's
That's
like,
the thing.
you
I
know
don't
what
think
you
she knows
need.
how to. I don't think she knows how to deal with her own anxiety herself.
Yeah. It's just like, I know that I can't do long distance relationships, so I'm
Shit.
not gonna put myself in that type of
Me
situation.
neither. I kill a
Like,
nigga.
Yeah.
Where you was at, and I can't show up to your
You
house.
are so crazy. Oh, that takes a lot of trust to be in a long
I ain't
distance
got none.
Stop showing up to
relationship.
people's houses first off.
Hey,
Yes.
you need to show up.
No,
Sometimes it's cute.
It's not.
Well, they ain't going nowhere. I swear, for some reason, when you act crazy, which I'm not doing anymore, I'm growing.
You
I'm
act crazy,
changing.
Carla?
Shit.
Friend. I see the little devil horn sticking up. You look like you fucked some people shit up back in the day. Like you don't put some people through
A
some
lot
hell.
of laptops, a lot of cars, some ties.
I got through that one age. It was like, listen, I'm not doing this no more. I ain't got the time
Right.
or the energy. You cheating? Okay.
I
Bitch,
just said
go
that right
about
now.
yourself.
I'm done. I'm not fighting you no more, and I'm not calling no more bitches.
You're right.
That's
I
why you
learned
need to
this.
go to yoga. You need to learn how to detach.
Okay, we gonna do this. You're gonna help me. Let's go to our next segment, which is my favorite, and it's my shit talk.
There you go.
Again, news. I read it today. Earlier, I read the news every morning. I think I've talked about this. I wake up at 6 and I turn on my news and I read.
Stop right there.
Yeah.
What's the first 3 things you see on the news when you
Yeah,
turn it
go
on?
ahead. Get her.
What I'm about to talk about right now is this white girl that died.
What was the next thing that came on? Just if you could think
Get
off the
her.
top of your head, what was the first 3 things that popped up on the news?
There
How
was,
many-
So
there was a
unhealthy.
crocodile that was going around in a floaty. It was really cute. I'll
they
show you the
didn't
picture.
wait till 7 o'clock to show that rather than 6.
It was
when I turn on.
No,
the
I
news-
don't watch the TV. I read it. I scroll through.
Okay,
Even-
okay.
No, I read.
Sometimes even then, if you're on like a news website,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
first 3 things you're gonna see is gonna be
Oh, it's
something
always
traumatic.
yeah, always.
Now that's why I say your mental diet right
Yes,
there.
that-
So
yes.
that's what time was that?
I do it every morning about 6:30.
So the first thing you saw when
See.
you woke up was somebody dying.
Yes.
That already puts you in anxiety state.
Already.
I don't turn on no news.
Yes.
Even
That's
at the
what I
gym,
do
you see at the gym
before
they
I
have Fox News and shit on 5 o'clock in the morning. I walk right past.
So
that
that's
shit.
actually why I'm bringing this up.
Okay, go ahead.
Because it was an update from what I saw in the morning.
Okay.
But I do. I wake up every
And
night
don't
I
go to sleep watching that stuff
Exactly.
too.
I have to go to sleep knowing what's going on in the world.
No, you do not. You're going to sleep with that on your psyche, and you're like unconsciously just ingesting that. And
listen
it's
Y'all see, I
so
just going.
negative.
This is my shit talking. Y'all gonna talk
We
shit about what I do when I wake up and go to
gotta
sleep.
intervene on this shit. You just said we helping you, right?
Right.
This is us helping you. I wake up in the morning. I listen to The Breakfast Club. Every
Me
morning.
too.
Every morning at 6 o'clock in the morning.
After I read my news, I listen
on
to
that.
Breakfast Club.
Now, if the first 3 things they talk about on The Breakfast Club is something horrible that's happened, somebody got shot by the cops or something like that, of course I want to be aware, but I also need to watch out for my mental health. So I turn it off. I don't need that on my mind 6 o'clock in the morning. I got a 9-year-old I'm about to drop off to school. The last thing I need to worry about or have on my mind is what if my child gets shot or something like that. That's the very last thing I want on my head.
I stopped listening to trap music in the morning too when I'm
That
running
too.
because that turned me real gangster, and I be wanting to bust a cap in somebody's
I
ass
listen
after.
to Afrobeats on the way to the gym now.
Yeah, I listen to gospel and I run the gospel. To be honest with you, it's kind of it's very. Oh
I
my
don't
god,
listen to music.
It's the best. Oh yeah, I
need
need
to.
to.
I listen to, instead of me listening to fucking 21 Savage on the way to the gym where I know somebody's gonna piss me off because they can't drive
Right.
by 4, I listen to Afro beats. So I'm sitting there bouncing and shit, ain't paying attention. I mean, I'm paying attention, but not paying attention
I
to the
hope so.
motherfuckers who can't drive in front
Right.
or behind
The
me.
only time I listen to music is when I pick up Ayana from school because she wants music on, so I listen to music and we act
Maybe
silly.
that can be one of your meditations,
What?
a musical playlist. You need
Yeah,
some
they
music
do
that's
that.
gonna calm you down. I'll give you a music playlist. That
I'm
you
getting
can listen
anxiety
to.
just thinking about this. Okay.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
It really
Shit talk.
is.
Shit talk.
I,
How you do it?
I,
Shit kills me. Shit talk.
Shit talk. Well, when I woke up this morning, I saw that there was a girl in Iowa, a student in college. She was missing, and they were trying to figure out, like, they didn't know where she was. Then they found her body, and she had been diseased. I believe she was missing for 2 days or whatever it was. When I'm at the gym that I took Ayana to go see you, I see Dex call me. She's like, Carla, come over here. And I said, what? So she calls me and she goes, look at this Fox News title for the news that they were saying. And it says, missing student found dead by illegal immigrant arrested. Something like that was the title. And I was like, oh, and I see a picture. I'm like, I think that's the girl that I saw this morning. But it was plastered illegal immigrant. And I read the story and it mentioned how she was in school, she went missing, she was running, it was in this park, they found her in a cornfield and all these things. Then as I'm reading the story, there's nothing that says, I'm not saying that he didn't do it. He had been in the area 4 to 7 years, like they're illegally working, no issues that they mention of. There's nothing negative about the guy. And
But they turned it into that.
they turned it into that. I don't know. They don't give it. They're just saying he's arrested for it. They don't give any clues as to why they think it's him or why it might have been him. They said that they found him through surveillance. They followed him with surveillance tapes. Now that they saw the crime with surveillance tape, they just found him through surveillance tapes. And then a Republican governor, I'm not sure what it was, he says that this is happening because of our immigration laws.
Of course.
So now they're throwing this into the immigration laws. Now, I bring this up to also say the midterm elections are coming up.
Yes.
And there are a bunch of House of Representatives seats open and Congress opens like 35
Yes.
out of 100 and like the full Senate it's
very
open
important.
for. So in November, we all need to get our black asses and Spanish asses and Asian asses and white asses, everything up and go vote because it's crucial. So right now these Republicans are, this story, I'm sure it's blown up way bigger than what it would have been. It's in Iowa. Who talks about what the fuck is going on in Iowa?
Right.
Nobody. Not saying that this girl's life is not important.
It's a red state,
but
though.
people die all the time. There's white, black, Spanish, like people die all the time. So for them to be plastering now, and CNN is doing is a bunch of this illegal immigrant, and now they're talking about immigration laws. I think it has to do with Trump's agenda for this wall, for keeping separating the kids, for immigration. You know what? These immigrants that are here, he was probably there 4 to 7 years working his ass off. I don't know how the hell he got to Iowa, but he made it there. He made it all the way to Iowa without killing anyone. But now all of a sudden he killed a white girl in a cornfield. This illegal immigrant. So I thought the story was shitty. I thought the headline was shitty, and I really, really do think that these fucking news places and the politicians are using this as a way to get people to come out and vote against having illegal immigrants here, and like rejecting their asylums and keep separating families and doing whatever fuck shit else they're doing. So I feel like I'm taking this one to say fuck you, Fox. Again, last week, fucked up Aretha Franklin and Patti LaBelle.
Didn't they do that? Oh my God.
Yeah, so they did the whole Aretha Franklin and Patti LaBelle, and now they do some fuck shit every week or every day. But now they do this with this whole thing.
Did he really kill a girl?
I have no idea. But I wouldn't put it past anyone to use this as a token or as a weapon for the elections. So
That's
just
what
everyone
they do on the news every day.
Yes.
Yeah. I know it can be twisted and stuff for the news on agenda, especially when it comes to Fox. They have a very Republican audience, a conservative audience. So
Republican. White.
So they try to go ahead and, gear news towards them, and they say the same thing about CNN. It's so liberal, and it tries to, be in the benefit of the Democrats. But yeah, I would ask myself some questions like I just asked. Did he really kill a girl? Well, we have to figure that out first.
It'll go through court. But when Markeith Lloyd here in Orlando, when he was gone, we knew everything that man did, from the gun that was there, how many times he done shot the cops, every step that he took, where they saw him in surveillance. They said everything. For this one, it's such a big case. They're plastering everywhere, but there's no information on why they suspect that it was this man that did it. Nothing. And then they say, I read in another article that he admitting to following behind her and that she took her phone out saying she was going to call the cops. So he took the phone, but they haven't found the phone. Like, y'all just say he's an illegal immigrant. So you're quote unquote saying maybe he don't speak the language from here and he's just this guy. How he told you this? Huh? Because you're making it seem like he don't even speak the language. This whole illegal immigrant, but he spoke this perfect English to you about how he killed this woman right away.
They have translator, Carla.
They do, but it's bullshit. they be bullshit, okay? And they got him a Timmy in Iowa who took Spanish 1 and 2 in high school for this guy.
But we do know if an illegal immigrant does any type of crime, it's just like you're automatically becoming deported, right? And he did admit to a crime of taking the girl's phone and all this other stuff, right?
They probably told him admit to it, or we're gonna take your family. I don't trust them. I don't trust these Iowa folks.
Okay.
And the fact that
I don't trust the news, period.
Yeah, I don't trust the news either. So I get what you're saying, though, and how the story can be twisted.
And it could be true. He might as well have done it, but I really do feel like they're using this as a token for the elections that are coming. If he did, then his ass gonna have to go.
And so he is an illegal immigrant that killed a white girl in the
What she said is they use that tagline to
go ahead.
Yeah,
and push
because
it
could have been a black man. That's very legal. It could have been a white man. That's very legal. It could have been anything. Yes, if it was a black man, he was a thug. If it was a white man, he had mental issues. He had been dealing with things. You know what I mean? What if this guy was dealing with something?
Right.
Why can't he get the same off that? What's the kid from South Carolina who killed all the black folks in the church? Dylan Ruth.
But being an illegal immigrant, you don't get that same privilege and right.
And being a dark-skinned, like muscle black man with dreads doesn't get you that one either. Like just labels you a thug.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So we're not all fair, and I really feel like they're using this for the elections, and I think that we should see past it. Absolutely. Look past what they're doing. And although I can sit here and be mad all day, only doing this because he's Hispanic and he's an immigrant. No, I want to take it to, let's take this to now. We need to get our asses out and vote.
Right.
Make your research.
Definitely.
And Dex said, we're going to talk about it. And I think I'm going to bring someone in to talk about more about politics and like informational with society stuff that we're going to. I am registered as a Republican. But I feel like I'll lead more towards Republican for certain business aspects, but then I'm more like a Democrat when it comes to society things.
Right.
And then I'm like, am I fucking liberal? Where the fuck do I fall?
So what's happening, millennials especially are starting to go towards this whole independent route because they're open. They're seeing views of the liberals and seeing that it makes sense, but they're also seeing some views of conservative of Republicans and see that it makes sense. So what they're doing is they're just rolling into their own thing and being, I'm an independent candidate. I don't belong to a party.
I need more independents to come out, and I'm gonna do more research on who the fuck they are so I can vote.
Yeah, definitely. That's the main thing. Just do your research and main thing people have to think about though is what is just not beneficial to you as a person in your pockets, but what benefits the country as a whole. And that's kind of been the big issue between Republicans and Democrats. It's like
they're all crooks. The government is full of crooks regardless.
They all are. Yeah.
But we need to figure out. So we're gonna vote. We'll all go together and we'll vote and then we go drink.
That sounds good. That sounds
I'm not
good.
drinking, but
Oh, I forgot you're not drinking. You can do your CBD and I'll find somebody twerk something on you. Anyways, this is another episode. I do have the announcement that this Friday, you guys are here in the morning. It'll be like a happy hour thing, the speed friending over at Loud Gallery.
Yes.
And you get to meet me there. We can play some games and we're going to meet people and DJ is going to be there. His little cute son going to be there for you ladies. And Anthony going to be there too.
Yes.
Dexty's going to be there. So we're all just going to hang out and get to know each other, play some games, have some drinks, and just hang out. And I have a big important announcement. I'll make it Monday. I'll say it on Friday at the show, and then I'll announce it online on Monday. Anyways, thank you for listening once again, and thank you guys for coming and talking about this. I really enjoyed it with you guys.
Times, always fun.
Appreciate
Thank you. Plug your thing in, DJ, one more time where they can find you, especially for training.
Instagram, Day to Shelby.
Don't open it at work. They
What?
might look at you sideways sometimes.
Oh, that's y'all problem. Day to Shelby on Instagram, daytoshelby.net for any yoga dates and stuff I have, retreats coming up next year. We're going to announce the countries that we're going to next year.
Countries, y'all hear that? Ooh, he popping.
I don't know what Carla's listeners are looking like internationally, but anybody in London listening, I will be there. Okay. I will be there next Wednesday, teaching next Saturday, September 1st.
Big things,
That is
big
huge.
things. He's international.
Yes,
He
yes.
an international hoe. I meant Yogi, not hoe. Yogi.
I got hopes.
And Tony, we have our resident realtor here.
Yes. Tony_the_realtor on Instagram and Anthony Bertram on Facebook.
Hey.
And BertramEstates.com with an S for my real estate webpage.
Love it. You can find us everywhere you listen to your podcast, and make sure to leave a review and rate on iTunes for me. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.